spiritual, and emotional restoration. She's the founder of the Garden of Eve Project and the owner of Mrs. Jack Body Food, both rooted in wellness, creativity, and intentional living. Through her writing, storytelling, and vision, she continues to inspire others to grow, heal, and step boldly into purpose. And let's give a warm welcome to wonderful Miss Stephania Robert. Next, we have Karen Shields Smith.
Yes, ma'am.
She right. Oh,
Yes.
Karen Shields Smith is a Fort Worth-based photographer, visual artist, and curator whose work reflects a deep commitment to creative expression and community engagement. Working across multiple mediums, her artistic practice explores storytelling through imagery, capturing both personal and cultural narratives with a distinctive and thoughtful perspective. In addition to her work as an artist, she is an active presence in the North Texas arts community. She has participated in exhibitions along with regional artists and creators, contributing to collaborative efforts that highlight diverse voices and artistic approaches. She serves as the chair of the Lenora Ralla Jury Art Show annual exhibition in Fort Worth. Through her leadership and creative work, Karen continues to support and elevate the arts in Fort Worth, fostering opportunities for emerging and established artists alike. Please give a good welcome to Karen Shields Smith. And last, in alphabetical order, we have Glenda Thompson. Where's Glenda? I saw it. Right. There you are. Glenda, with more than 30 years of experience, is a communication strategist specializing in cause-related marketing, public engagement, crisis communications, and corporate social responsibility with branding initiatives. A native of Fort Worth, Thompson is also a proud Dunbar High School graduate. Then she went to TCU, where she majored in communications. She received her BFA in communications from Texas Wesleyan. Through her distinguished career, she has had several civil senior level positions in Fort Worth and Washington, D.C., displaying her leadership and expertise in communications and public relations. In 2004, she founded Gestures Marketing Communications, currently operating as Gestures Communications Group. She currently serves on a variety of boards in several well-known organizations, including Visit Fort Worth, Medical City Fort Worth, and the Fort Worth Tarrant County NAACP. She also serves as president of the Society, Inc. Tarrant Pearls chapter. She is a resolute member of Mount Olive Baptist Church in Arlington. Her creative passions include writing, volunteering, and gardening, through which she finds fulfillment and connection with her community. Please give a warm welcome to Glenda. And to all of our panelists, thank you. Give them another round of applause. They're awesome. They're prepared. Okay. And I dropped my program on the floor. You don't see these things on TV, but you see them in real life. So our first part, we're going to have a panel discussion where each of our panelists is going to be asked a question and they're going to answer that question. And then after that first part, we're going to have a wonderful performance by Miss Juneteenth 2025. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Now, being a teacher, I don't like to start with the same person all the time. So I'm going to have a rotating alphabetical order. So I'm going to start with Dr. Holliday. The second question will be with Bailey. And the next question will be with Sharon. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Dr. Holliday, how important has your faith been in your life's journey?
Well, being a business owner and considered to be a serial entrepreneur, it has taken a number of events to actually help me be more concerned about my relationship with God and waiting on Him to allow me to make the right decisions. I started out in the practice of dentistry. Actually, I've been practicing dentistry 49 years. I've just been downtown for 30, and shortly after I was in practice, I opened up my other business, Marie Antoinette's, and thereafter Flowers to Go, which is a full-service floral shop. So in all of my decisions about what I would do and how I would operate, in addition to courses and classes that I had taken to know about the product, especially in the retail perspective, I prayed on it before I started the business. And by doing that, I waited for a confirmation that that was what I should do. As I have moved forward in having a number of people that have worked for me in all three entities, especially a number of women, and being a Black entrepreneur, uh, it takes funding to operate and maintain a business successfully. It takes a certain amount of stamina and leadership to employ and train individuals. And in that, I have always looked for the right persons who were had the same goals and ideals in regards to especially treating my patients, because they are, in all instances, the people that work for me are an extension of me. And that is how I train them and inform them about what I expect from them as individuals. My foundation in being in God and prayer, and knowing about the importance of love and treating one's neighbor as one would be treated are very important. So that is the basis on which I live my life and run my entities.
And your faith is evident. You're also one of my sister's dentists.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I told you that last time I saw you.
I
Yes,
see a
yes.
lot of people.
I know. All right. That's my baby. Bailey, how do you believe visual storytelling and animation shapes the way society understands culture and identity, especially for young audiences?
Animation is one of our first teachers. From a very young age, one of the first things that we see other than our parents is animation. And oftentimes we don't see a positive view on Black voices and Black people. We get the same three caricatures or the same three watered down versions of a story. It's important that it's important that we see ourselves in those spaces, because if we don't see ourselves in those real places in real time. Oftentimes you see a simulation of something before you see it happen in real time. And it makes me sad when I see Black children see that they can't be a part of something because they're not shown that they're able to be a part of it. So it's important that we pay attention to it and that we continue to stress our voices and stress our stories, because if we don't pay attention to it, who will?
And it's very important that we all are singing. All of us are important. All of us are God's creation. Thank you, baby. Sharon, over there on TV. If you could identify a singular reason for becoming an arts advocate, arts administrator, and overall artist, what would it be?
I think if I had to identify one singular reason, it would be representation. I spent most of my young life performing in theater and singing at church and in all the spaces as an artist. And I felt the importance almost immediately, because whenever I would sing or perform or be in spaces where there were children, particularly Black and brown children, and sometimes just children that didn't get the norm, right? They would see a plus size woman performing, and all of a sudden you could see the face of this plus size child, maybe that was not Black or brown, light up because they see themselves represented. And then I started to realize that it didn't really matter how much I showed up. And no matter how hard I worked as an artist, that if I didn't then attend community forums and become more of an arts advocate, the work would move farther along. And in probably the last 15 years or so, I really came to understand the importance of also being an arts administrator. Because if you don't have a seat at the table, if you're not part of the decision-making process, if you're not part of the voices that are at the table, sometimes the voices never make it to the stage or they're not properly represented.
Thank you, Sharon. That was more than one reason, but it was excellent. That was a lot of good reasons. Thank you very much. Next to Stephonia. How do you think modern storytelling can influence public awareness and action around environmental challenges like climate change and or biodiversity loss?
I believe that a lot of times, as far as. I believe that a lot of times that, well, let me rephrase it. My grandmother was a storyteller. And so what I know of her telling me stories is she was a farmer. And she told me stories about plants. She told me stories about the weather. She told me stories what we need to look for. These things are steeped in from what she understood, learning the land and also knowing the word of God. And in that, I see that storytelling for environmental issues, for historical issues, are also that are prevalent. We see them in the media. We see them on social media. Now, that doesn't mean that some of the storytelling that is passing down and we're perceiving this information that we're digesting it properly, because a lot of it is not that we relate to. When we talk about stories within our own culture, in our own dynamics, then we have a better understanding who we are as a people, and we also understand our history. So going forward as a storyteller for myself, one of the most important things for me to do is to tell people about who they are in their particular neighborhood, in their particular environment, the biome in which they're surrounding. And once you are aware, then you understand the conditions of where you live and how they came to be and the powers that are in charge of you. You still can make your own efforts and way by being proactive in learning those different dynamics and becoming a storyteller too, because we all know a storyteller in our family, whether it's your uncle or your mama or a cousin. There's somebody that's always going to come into your life that has a story to tell. And that story embraces us and keeping it. And I want to say one of the stories that I remember as a child that I even pass on, and I'm quite sure a lot of people can relate to certain stories that they still believe in to this day. I came from a little small country town, and my grandmother told me when we're taking 287, always be with a group of people, stop at certain places. These are the certain towns that you do not stop at alone. Now here I am, and when I have my children, my oldest son is 43. I guarantee you, to this day, he still remembers what towns he could stop in and what towns he doesn't supposed to. Whether or not we know the dynamics, whether if they have changed or not, we still know that there are certain things that we need to code switch into. So those are the stories that linger with me, and I pass them on, and I understand that my children will pass those on to their children.
Thank you. One thing you said, you didn't say the word diversity and inclusiveness, but that's exactly what you do through your storytelling. And that's very evident. Thank you. Thank you. All right, next we have Karen Shields. And Karen, would you share a moment or experience that first inspired your journey into photography and curation and how that passion has evolved over time?
Thank you. Well, my journey into photography began when I was 13, when my parents took us to Yellowstone National Park and to Mount Rushmore on a vacation for 2 weeks. I had a camera and I started taking pictures. And I didn't realize until recently that God was preparing me for something better 25 years later when I went to Central America. And the beauty was so vast, God's beauty, the rainforest and the Queen Elizabeth ship coming through the Panama Canal. I had to have a camera to take those pictures and to tell a story through the pictures. And so that's how I began my photography career. And when I was relocated here to Fort Worth, I opened up my own studio. And the great Tony Gall, so many of you may know him, he was a photographer in the area. He mentored me as a female. I worked with him and he taught me some techniques. And then I was also encouraged by the great Gwen Barbie, if you all know who she was. She really promoted women entrepreneurs and she promoted me with my photography. I did shooting for the Black Chamber. I did their golf tournament every year. And then when the internationally known model Iman came to town, she was launching her makeup career. I was asked by Gwen to be her personal photographer for the day. And I spent the day with her and I went to her suite in Dallas, spent all day there with her with my umbrella set up and photographed her. And that's how my photography career began. I did weddings, but the bride started frowning. So I said, Lord, let me do your landscape because you won't talk back to me. So I started doing landscape photography, and that's what I do now. But then I moved into curation. Now, let me tell you something. I didn't know what the word curation meant in the art field. I just knew that there was a lack of understanding and development and promotion of our artists that I needed to get them into some venues to show their artwork. The wonderful Sarah Walker, the president of the Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society, said, you need to come over to Lenora Rolla. I said, well, what's Lenora Rolla? She said, it's our museum. You need to have your art show over there because I had an art show at the Firehouse Station down here on Meadowbrook, a one-woman show, and she came. So I collaborated with them, Mrs. Brenda Sanders Wise, and for the last 14 years, I have been working with them with the Tarrant County Lenora Rolla exhibition. And that's when I found out what the word curation meant, to get together a group of artists. And I started out with 6. I go to different events and look for artists and get their name, their email, and send them an invitation the next year. We grew from 6 artists to over 200. And we just completed our 13th year downtown. So I'm a curator and a photographer.
When you said Amazon rainforest, I didn't hear anything else. That is the one place in the world that I want to go before I leave here. That is such a beautiful place. I love every part of it. I don't want to get eaten by anything. I don't know what else you said. At the end, you were saying Lenora Rolla, and I heard all that. But oh my goodness, you were in the Amazon rainforest. That is amazing. That is amazing. You are my best friend now. All right, back on topic. Next, Glenda Thompson, your question. Can you give us, did I go off? A little history about your organization, the Society Incorporated?
Sure. First, I'd like to take this opportunity to say, it is so special to be on this panel with these phenomenal women. And I know that you had offered to give them a hand as they came, but I would just like to give them a hand. Okay, the Society Incorporated was founded in 1983 by a group of friends who saw a need to support young people pursuing artistic careers. It was formed in DC, and since then we have about 30 chapters throughout the country, representing a little over 800 women, all pursuing that same mission. Our chapter was chartered in 2020. We are the Tarrant County Pearls, with the same mission to support youth in the arts.
That's That's amazing because there are so many times that children, young people see others and they think, oh, that is great for them and don't see how that can be something for them. So that is really great. 2020. Well, thank you. Give everybody a round of applause to our first round of questions. Next, we have a featured performance. This is gonna be the one that you wanted. A featured performance by Bailey Howe, Miss Juneteenth, 2025.
Yeah, our basics. Where's the Don? Here come Don. Get closer.
While they're doing that, I'm gonna move this. Can y'all see them through this flower? Put them on the floor, right? Here we go. Okay.
Visual art is my talent. And from the moment I was awarded my state title and up until this piece's debut on the national stage, I worked on this piece. Countless nights, crash outs, piece after piece, 144 hours, 32 minutes, and 10 seconds of wondering, maybe I should just become an influencer. Because honestly, I thought about punching a hole through that canvas. And I know thousands of other artists can relate, visual or otherwise. I poured my heart into this piece, yet I couldn't recreate it in 10 minutes. Believe me, I've tried. Because real art takes time, and too often it's deleted in an instant. Black art has always been a target. Our books burned, our music banned, our murals painted over, our stories rewritten or worse, erased. By fear, by ignorance, by the patriarchy, by policies disguised as protection, by systems put in place that were never meant to include people who look like me. But here I stand, a young Black artist at the intersection of creation and erasure, holding the line with three powerful keys: control, art, delete. Because I know the dangers of undoing it. I know the power of deletion. Right now, I'm going to destroy this piece. And it's going to crunch every fiber of my being. But I need for you to see what it feels like to watch culture die in real time. See, I could have kept this piece safe. But that's not what art is for. Art is protest. Art is legacy. And art is truth.
Maya Angelou said it best. I may come as one, but I stand as 10,000. I am here today as a living testament to my ancestors' wildest dreams, or as we say in the Yoruba tribe, my Agungu. And I will still be here. And I will keep creating. I will be a voice that is so loud for my people that no one can forget. Because even in erasure, Black art is history, and history remembers.
Girl, you better preach. We did that. Teach about history. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, baby. I'm not gonna start with you. I'm gonna let you catch your breath. I'm gonna start with Sharon. Sharon, can you hear?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Here's your next question. What was your first known memory of being an artist or creative or ever knowing that is what you wanted to do for a career?
Wow. This is extra funny because my mom is actually there in the audience right now. So she was present for both of these, but I've always known that I wanted to be an artist. When I was, I believe, 4 years old. I was told the story. I don't remember it exactly, but I've been told the story from family members over and over again. When I was 4 years old, you had to be 5 years old in order to get baptized to join the church and sing in the choir, because apparently that was the age that you could truly, profess, that you believe that Jesus died on the cross for your sins. And at 5 years old, you knew you were good, but I was 4 and I wanted to sing in the choir, so I had to get baptized. And so it was time for me to go in front of the church and just answer 2 questions. What do you want to be? And I'm supposed to say saved. And where do you want to go? And I'm supposed to say to heaven. And I had my lines because even back then I was an actress, so I had it together. Was getting out in front of the church and there being so many people looking at me. So my audience was present. And when the pastor asked me, what do you want to be? Instead of saying saved, I said, I want to be a superstar. And I said, where do you want to go? Instead of saying, I want to go to heaven, I said, I want to go to Hollywood. So, apparently, even at the age of 4, I already knew that I wanted to be on stage and I wanted to be an actor and I wanted to be what I saw on television, even though there was nothing on television that looks like me. And then the second was when I was 8, we moved into a new neighborhood right over off of Miller and not too far from Miller and Mansfield Highway. We moved into that neighborhood and I didn't know anybody, but I quickly made friends and I forced all of the kids in the neighborhood to participate in a talent show. So I wrote and directed this talent show piece at 8 years old. I don't know who typed up this program, but my mom still has this program to this day. It's a little single fold program with all our little names in it. And I talked to Katrina Nelson's mom into hanging white sheets on their porch to be our curtains. And I directed this whole show for all kids in the neighborhoods. I was pushy back then. But I said all that to say, I've always known that this is what I want to do. And so my earliest memories were singing in my church choir and just feeling really, I don't think I knew that that was the Holy Spirit, but I knew that I felt something when I was up there singing. And I knew that there was a reciprocated energy when I sang. And even, as I got older, when I sang and got into acting, there was this immediate transfer of energy. And I just knew as a kid that I loved that. I loved being able to be a storyteller and being able to use my voice, and I could see people's eyes tearing up, or I could see people nod their head in agreement, and I could just tell, oh, whatever it is that God gave me. And again, I didn't have a definition for it yet, but I'm like, whatever it was that He gave me, I'm supposed to share this with the people, and then they're supposed to give me love back. And so I just knew as a kid that that's what I wanted to do.
Wow, thank you, Caroline. That was great. You have always told your story, and I love the fact that you didn't say what the preachers wanted you to say. I love that part. Awesome. Very, very energetic and very engaged. I can see how you've won so many awards. Thank you so much. Yes, yes. Next, Stephania. Your next question. How do you balance traditional herbal knowledge with modern science when choosing remedies or advising others?
That's a good question. I'm greedy. So I want the best of both worlds. I want allopathic and naturopathic. I don't understand why we have compartmentalized medicine. Either you're going to be into the naturopathic or you're going to be into the allopathic. I believe that God is creator of the universe and he created all things. Everything has a chemical, whether it's a plant or your own body. And so what I tell people is to make sure that you do your due diligence with who you are. We don't know I can't pick up a book and tell you who you are holistically. I may have training, and so do people that are in the medical profession. They have their training. I have mine, but I don't know who you are holistically. You know your body better than the doctor do, or any other naturopathic does. Thing that you need to understand is how to be able to use the naturopathic world and the allopathic world to benefit who you are as a whole human entity. And so the advice that I give to most people is to make sure, number one, to do their due diligence, do research, understand who you are, understand that the miracle workers, they're in the Bible. God did not anoint me as a miracle worker. He anointed me as a healer, but a healer and a miracle worker is not the same. So wherever you are holistically in your health and wellness walk, you have to understand that you did not get there overnight. And you have to understand there's no magic pill that's going to erase everything that you just did to yourself over a period of time. Everything is about due diligence and about dedication, discipline, and being patient. And one of the things that I always try to make sure that people understand when we hit certain plateaus in our life, especially for women, when we reach a certain age, and I'm talking about that menopause stage, there's things that happens with your body. Your body has already told you that your time, what you're supposed to do, is done. Now it's time to concentrate on who you are. But you've been so busy taking care of everybody else and everything else that sometimes you get lost in the sauce and do not remember who you are as a woman, who you are on planet Earth and in the cosmos. And that takes time and diligence. So the first thing is to learn about who you are, then put in parameters and boundaries for yourself, for your peace of mind, and then understand, look at the holistic side of it. Look at the prescription side of it. You know, I don't tell anybody not to stop taking their medication. I try to teach people what they do holistically. I even teach my doctors about who I am. And you have to be an advocate because they are great. They're taught a certain kind of way, and that's steeped in them. Like how we're disciplined in certain beliefs and thoughts, and you can't change my mind. They have those parameters also. But you need to understand that you're not that person. And a prime example, when I go, they hate to see me coming because me as a Black female that's over 60 years old, they want me to have diabetes. They want me to have high blood pressure. They want me to have some type of cardiovascular disease. And when they check my blood pressure, I smile and I can see that the mindset has to be reframed for them because their book told them this. But me as a human being, me as an entity, me as my own individual self, shows them that I'm not textbook. So my blood pressure normally runs anywhere from 110 to 56. And when I'm mad, it's at 120 over 80. And of course, they're going to say that's great. And I'm like, no, I'm angry right now at 120. But that's because I understand my body. And that's one of the things that we have to do. Do your due diligence first. And I'm going to keep saying it over and over because I can't remember the scripture, but it was about King Asa. And King Asa had a foot problem. And before he went to God, he went to all the physicians. He didn't pray to God about what direction he should go, but he went to the physicians. And then they said that in the Bible, it said that he died 3 days later with a foot problem. Now, scholars may talk about it and say they may think it was arthritis or gout. But the point that I'm making with that is always seek counsel first before you make any decision.
Amen. I never thought about how medicine is separated, compartmentalized. I understand specialization, that's very important. But sometimes we as patients don't understand what's going on in our body and we depend upon them. But it's a collaborative effort. We have to know our bodies so that we can tell them, because they're not with us 24 hours. They don't have all that daily data. So we have to be able to work with them. Just like you said, we have
Recording
to
in
do ourselves
progress.
and let them know who we are.
Yes,
I like that. Very well said. Very well said.
thank you.
I didn't like that part about there's no magic pill. Thank you, Stefan. Ms. Karen, your next question is, what challenges have you faced on your journey as an artist and curator, and how have those experiences shaped who you are today?
Thank you for that question. And again, I'm delighted to be on the panel with these amazing women. And I do need to do a shout out to my family for coming to support me and those friends that I invited that are in attendance. Thank you. I faced a lot of challenges as a photographer. When I started, I was one of a very few women, especially Black women. I worked for the United States Army in Central America as a photojournalist on the weekends to relieve the men photographers of their duties so they could spend time with their families. So I shot on the weekends and the holidays assignment, and I was the only woman running around Panama City, Panama, photographing events. And that was tough. And then I went on and evolved. And one of the family members of Black Tie Magazine is here. I work for Black Tie Magazine. And I remember getting credentials from them to go to the Cowboy Stadium in Irving. I got the credentials passed through their press club. And I took my 2 cameras, swung around my neck, and would you believe I was down on the field where Emmitt Smith and Deion Sanders was taking pictures, and I was about the only Black female down there. Then I got invited to go up in the press box. Oh my goodness, I'm living high off the hog in the press box, looking down at the field, getting all kinds of food and drinks. And I was the only Black female up there. I felt special. But it was scary because you were the only one. You integrated that press box, and there's been challenges. But I've had, like I said, Tony Goss help mentor me. And one time, Gordon Parks, how many of you know who Gordon Parks is? He was in town, and I was asked to be his escort taking pictures over in Dallas, and I did. And he mentored me for a few hours about being a photographer. I said, well, I'm a female. I don't know if I can make it. He talked to me and encouraged me, and he said, you could do anything. So I appreciated that. So there have been challenges. There's challenges with also curating art shows. Did you know only 13% of females show their work in museums? Only 13% of females. You know how many percentage of African American women show their artwork in museums? 0.5%. And we make up almost 7% of the population. So we got to do a better job of promoting our Black female artists. And by promoting them, I mean attending their shows and then investing in their artwork so they can get in those museums. We got to get up at least to 3 to 4%. So that's a challenge too. But it's making me a better person because I want to continue to promote them. I'm getting older now, near, my son said, don't say you're near 80, but I'm closer to 80 than I am to 75 because I want to keep promoting them as long as I can so that we can get them in these museums and that they can be acknowledged and recognized and make the money that some of the men are making. So let's support them. Let's take 2 months off of getting nail and hair done and buying designer bags and invest in some Black artwork.
All right, Miss Karen, you have thrown that challenge in. I think we can do it. Very good. The mentorship that you have with Gordon Parks is still with you today and it's helping you to be a mentor to the others that are not quite where you are in age. So very good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Miss Glenda, explain how the Society Inc. serves the arts community.
Well, our local, can you hear me? Okay. Our local chapter has been diligent in raising funds to support our programming. The bulk of our programming consists with a couple of partnerships. We found that we had quite a bit in common with the NAACP AXO program. They actually have a variety of students that compete every year at national. And we were able to assist with sending some of those kids to the national convention last year. We hope to do that again this year, working with Sandra Davis, who chairs that committee. And of course, I think we had at least one person come home with the goal. So that's really exciting. And we really strive to look for students that are on a trajectory to pursue arts in all disciplines, visual, performing, musical, vocal, and literary. So basically, we support them by trying to help out. We supported Brown Girls Do Ballet. That's another local organization, particularly working with young ladies of color in instilling that ballet mindset. And beyond that, we're always looking to collaborate with other organizations such as this. It's really our pleasure to serve as kind of co-partners for this event. It was a perfect fit. When Deborah spoke to me about it, I thought it's a no-brainer. We are an arts organization. The theme represents art, and we want to be front and center at all things art in this area. To not just increase our visibility, but to also assist with promoting arts and culture, particularly to kids in underserved areas.
Very good. I know as thank the Lord, retired educator, when our kids had opportunity to perform artistically, whether it was singing, dance, painting, whatever it was, their personalities were so much different. They were so much alive rather than the routine academics. So the arts open up their minds and it helps them to be more interested, more engaged in learning what they need to learn in order to excel in the arts.
I will add that students that are engaged in artistic pursuits have higher academic levels and less dropout rates. So arts is extremely important, to those kids or to, I had a son that was all hyper, but it was because he wasn't engaged in the regular, learning process. And so we did a couple of arts kinds of projects and, he just kind of, he, the light bulb turned on. And that can happen with just inspiring kids by taking them to the museum. And I'll say, I am who I am now because my mom insisted that I take piano lessons. She also forced me to go to every opera that the Fort Worth ISD had students at on a Saturday morning. And so I'm very thankful for that exposure. And our organization is about creating opportunities for that same kind of exposure.
Thank you, Glenda, and you're passing it on. Thank you so much. Dr. Holloway, you're next. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Dr. Holiday, how are you impacted by segregation and integration?
Well, as a product of segregation, I think that it was great from the perspective that I was attended the public schools here in Fort Worth. And because my father was a minister and my mother was a school teacher, and of course, with Black churches, then we were participants in a number of activities at church, which actually helped to develop me as an individual, whether it was in the performing arts or even though I can't sing, I was in the choir, but I also was involved in other aspects of the audible arts. So my preparation in school was because the teachers and principals at that time, because of segregation, were totally interested in all of the students. And they always demanded the best from each student and realized that some students learned quicker than others, but all students and individuals have the ability to learn. So there was a focus on those that were in different areas that gave us all, I believe, a great foundation in our education from the academic part to the studying and developing good study skills. That prepared me for going to the predominantly white schools at the time that I was in the 10th grade, is when we had integration. And I ended up in all of my programs at Poly. I went to Poly first, and then ODY it opened up, and I was in the second class to graduate from there. And I excelled and was better than most of the students that were part of my class in both the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So I attribute that to my education as a result of segregation. That also then aided me in my career and going to Boston University, where it was a very large university. We had large classes, but because of my preparation, then it did not impede me from doing well and accelerating and moving on into the professional area. So we fast forward to returning to Fort Worth to practice as a dentist. And I was the first female to be in private practice in the Fort Worth area. The second, there was another female, and she was Black. So, but I was the second female to be in private practice, whether black or white. And that was because of my confidence in myself, the associations that my father had with um, other banks and institutions, and then my desire and determination to be a solo practitioner and practice in the community. My first office was on East Berry Street in the Sims Professional Building, and as you know, T.A. Sims has just passed, and I was one of his first tenants. He and Nancy Sims in that building. So I would say that we have not come, we've come full circle from a political perspective, but the importance of our community and the support that we give to individuals is the same that we needed over 70 years ago. And we have to realize that and support our Black organizations. We have to support those individuals that are in different areas. And I know that we're talking about especially the arts, but there are so many areas of the arts. And I have, learned a lot because one of the things as we talk, especially when Ms. Fields was speaking about her area, unless we are in, and as Sharon said, unless we have a seat at the table, then we don't know who's at the table, and then we also don't have that advantage of bringing along and educating other people that are young like Bailey so that they can advance and become a part of the legacy of African American.
Awesome. I heard you say your village started with your family and then it expanded to all of your education and then you have your own village where you're continuing to support and develop. But it does take the whole village. We have to support not just ourselves and our small little villages. We have to support the larger village in order for everything to continue to grow and not be erased.
Absolutely.
And Bailey, have you caught your breath yet? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Your next question is, what is your platform, its responsibilities, and how do you see your role evolving in that work?
My platform is called Control Alt Delete. It's a play on words on the popular computer command Control Alt Delete. It's about preserving Black art history from systemic erasure and making sure that young people know just how important they are in the spaces of arts and how important they are to society as a whole. My platform stands for advocacy and making sure that we know where we stand, especially in STEAM spaces. Oh, something that is super popular now and it's been on the rise is AI. And what it does is it creates a generalization of the things that we learn and the things that we know from prior research, and then it gives you an answer based on all those different sources. So things get lost in translation, and the things that we stressed importance on suddenly become less important. And our arts are a timeline. We can see where we were and where we're going to be because we look at our arts and we see where the people were feeling and what they were going through. But we'll lose that if we don't stand for it, because in 100 years from now, they're not going to know why we were here today, why we're talking about what is so important to us. Everything that we stand for can be lost if we don't stand to protect it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. It's one thing to get something, but to have something trying to be eliminated, erased is a total different thing. But we all forget things, but it's not because things have been erased. So you're right. We have to make sure that we're here to tell the story so that hundreds of years from now, people who are behind us will know that we were here and why they were here. They can continue and carry that forward. Thank you, Ms. Page. All right, did I get everybody? All right, next on our program, part 2, you have a spoken word recital by the wonderful, wonderful Stephania Roberts. So give her a hand, please. I like to hit people in the head with all big. Get under the table. Get under the table. Right, thank babies. Y'all bear with me. This is a story that I wrote a couple years ago with a different title, but it's been adapted for today. And the title of it is called Mother. And in this piece, we're talking about Mother Earth, motherhood, and mitochondrial mother DNA. It's been a long time since I did this piece, so I might have to. In ancient of days, before man began counting time, and the myth that Homo sapiens emerged from slime, I was born under a sky of blue, rained down by the shades of humanity. The loins that birthed my being were hewn and molded from the clays of Mother Earth, harvested from a field of glory, shared by the previous offsprings of jubilation. The sun kissed my lips in adulation while leaving this bronzing tint upon my skin. And as its rays bowed down to anoint the tips of my feet, I was bathed in ebony, which anointed me complete. For I was raised by the servants of God and dressed in the robes of royalty, baptized in a river of copper, glowing with the life force in my womb. I wear the headdress of ancient cultures, from Moors to Gaul. But thy birth was foretold, that thou shalt be mankind's fall. But a mother loves harbors no fault. The ancestors giving me the strength to withstand the greatest foe of all. The fear of knowing that you were born from our own darkened loins and given a gift of a throne to set upon. But as I offered gifts unto you, you forgot your people, your heritage, and where you came from. Stripping your mothers of her gift, holding your brothers and sisters as hostages, hiding in the mountaintops of your mother's bosom. And before the darkness came, the guardian of the moon banished you, stripping you of your once beautiful bronze skin, leaving your heart hardened and pale with sin. And then you hid. You ran and you hid at night in darkened caves to only squint at the light of the rising sun. And salvaging my once glorious fields, now bear my being a field of broken bones, heartaches, shattered dreams, shackled hardship, wilted to a pool.
self-proclaim yourself to reign of being supreme. You're slaughtering the descendants of your ancestors, your mother, your queen. Your kingdom is made up of the slaves of your blood, but yet you still are not a king. Your ancestral home of the second earth has unearthed the brethren of his kind. But mother has hid. She has hidden away the gifts of his riches of diamonds, gold, copper, and iron. However, time. 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 Time will usurp you from the land, leaving you a tragedy. Mourning the gift once served as thy birthplace of your mother's loin. Her womb, it shall heal. Her headdress, it will be held high, and her bosom lavished with coin. You will know that her golden cloak shall be restored and laid upon her bare shoulders. She will no longer suffer from birthing you from the canal of her wombs, for you to destroy the catacombs of your ancestors' tombs. No longer hide you in the folds of her flowing skirts. No longer shall she praise you and crown your golden head. But she will let you remain as a clump of dirt amongst your own dead. Time. 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 Take heed. Mother Earth is watching.
That was awesome. Thinking about Mother Earth, and it also made me think about mothers in general. It's also the deep riches, the struggles, the stresses, the victories. Awesome. That was perfect.
Thank you. And I wanted to, and it's really cut down short because I am a storyteller, but it does take you from the creation of Earth to the first woman burying her child, and then we understanding about the mitochondrial DNA and how that gave life to all of the people, and then back to Mother Earth, seeing what we are doing. I'm about to cry, so y'all give the looking back at Mother Earth and seeing what we're doing to her environmentally.
Mm-hmm.
He is the only garden that you will ever truly know. She sustained you, whether it's water, air, food to breathe in, and we need to make sure as we talk to our children that our children understand that we need to take care of our mothers.
I agree. Love you, baby, coming up. Wow. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Now for our next dynamic conversation. We're going to start with you, Ms. Karen. Your next question. Beyond creating your own art, you dedicated significant amount of time to uplifting other artists, particularly through your role as an art show chair and curator for local jury exhibitions. What inspired you to take on the leadership role in the local arts community, and what is the most rewarding part of curating these exhibits?
Thank you for that question. I took on the role because I saw there was a need. 14 years ago, when I went to the Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society, there were no art shows for our talented artists. And Sarah Walker encouraged me to talk to Mrs. Wise, as I said earlier, and that's how it all started. Looking for artists, building up the artist role, doing the show. We started at the Lenore Rolla Museum. And we got so many artists that we outgrew the space, so we collaborated with Sundance Square and the Basses. And for the last 3 years, we've had our shows downtown on Houston, which has been great. I think one of the biggest challenges is getting our artists to submit to competitions so they'll be recognized and to keeping track of what they sell, because what they sell can appreciate and they need to have that documented, and also helping them to write their bios and just encouraging them to meet deadlines. I mean, I send out texts every day saying, have you got that in yet? Stephania, she knows, she's on our committee. And that is a great challenge. And just because we have one show a year, we need to have many more. And we need to have many more footprints of our community there to encourage the artists, but also to take a piece off the wall and take it home with you. Because that inspires them when they see that their artwork is sold. For many years, I stopped my career as a photographer. Just last year, I started entering competitions. I was in 10 shows last year because I had applied. And I kept saying, well, maybe I need to give this up and focus on myself. But I can't do it. I got to keep encouraging our young people, our students, because we also do student collaboration with several ISDs that are in the art show for us in February. And it's just important that all of us rally around the art community. Our young kids can stay out of trouble by getting into the arts, and it doesn't matter if it's visual, singing, or whatever. We need to keep them involved and off of the streets. So there are many challenges, but together we can, as a community, overcome those challenges and bring our students and our adult artists, to venues to show their artwork. And I like to thank the Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society for allowing me and the committee to work with them to put on this wonderful show, because we give money to the winners. We ask for donations, and this past year we got a $5,000 grant. We rewarded our artists and first, second, third place. Plus also we get jurors from Amon Carter, the Kimball, the Modern. We just don't look at the artwork ourselves. We get professionals to come in and determine who is the winner. So please continue to support Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical, support our artist community. And if we do that, the challenges will be less.
I have to say, Ms. Karen, that you lead by example, and I like that very much. Very good, very good. Thank you. Ms. Glenda, your next question. What are some of the examples of how the Society Incorporated Tarrant County Pearls have collaborated with other community groups to effectively carry out your mission?
I think I started answering that question, the last question. But as I said early on, we are a small organization. We have about 17 members. As president, I wanted us to think smart as opposed to not thinking smart. So one of the first options that I brought to the membership was a collaboration with the NAACP AXO program, because they skewed the students we were looking for. Our organization supports youth from ages 8 to 18. And so their their participants are within that perfect range and in alignment with the students that we want to help. But we also partnered recently with the Fort Worth Women's Club. We'll be doing some things with them as well. We're working, fleshing out the details on that. And again, this particular venue to partner with the Black Historical Genealogical Society was unplanned, but we're really, really glad that the theme was arts related and that we could work as a partner with the Genealogical Society. Beyond that, our focus really is to just remain relevant and remain more visible to this community so that we can really have an impact, a positive impact. And we're also working to try to connect with other partners like the Dunbar High School Theater Department. Karen doesn't know it yet, but I'll be speaking to her. And I will say, I'm saying all of this, but our program chair is Dr. Marie Holiday. So she probably could answer some of these questions. But then I work so fast, sometimes I'm telling her things and she's like, oh, I didn't know that. And it's like, well, this is what we're going to do. So it's an exciting time for us. And it really warms our hearts to be able to bridge the gap for a lot of students that otherwise would not have an opportunity to pursue any artistic opportunities. And we're just glad to do it. I will say that the arts industry is a $1.1 trillion industry. It in total probably supports about 5 million jobs in this country. And it's so critical to the education of students to, which is why STEM became STEAM. So we're hoping that we bring the relevance of arts participation to this community in a new and fresh way.
Thank you, Ms. Glenda. You said you're a very small organization, and that's perfectly fine because everything starts out small. We know that the smallest piece of matter is an atom, I think. I'm not really good with science, but something like that. But everything's small, everything starts out small and then it grows. And I also, as you were talking, I was reminded of a song by Whitney Houston. I believe children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. And I think you all are doing it. So thank you. Dr. Holiday. Yes. Why do you give back to your community?
Well, I give back to my community because my community is what gave to me. It has been my community that has made me successful. I started out in the arts and actually became a member of the Tarrant County Pearls because I realized the significance of art as a child. Just as Glenda, I took piano lessons. I don't know that I was forced to take them, but we didn't consider it to be forced to do something when we were children. If our parents said that this is what you were gonna do, then that's what you did. And that you later as adults realize the significance of parenting, and your parent making decisions for you as a child on what you needed in order to be successful. I think that is what's lacking right now is that parents are trying to be friends as opposed to being parents and assisting in the development of the children so that they can be successful. So as a result of that, also, when I was a child, we went to the Casa Mañana, even though it was segregated. We went and saw plays and shows at the Casa Mañana and participated in their school. And that was because of my community. We had the Junior Debs, which Ms. Irma Lewis taught us tap and ballet and other art forms, which exposed us because we were a part of the community. And then because I went to Boston and was around a number, we had the movement going on at the time that I went to Boston in 1970. Then the Black arts and Black history was a very important part of our development. And I saw how the community was so involved in the success of young adults in the area, and especially in the area of arts. So as a part of my adulthood and being back in Fort Worth, I had the opportunity, because of the Caravan of Dreams, to meet a number of jazz artists. And because of my interest in music and entertainment, my former husband and I would have events where we recognized the artists and had receptions for them. And as a result of that, the community was able to come, people saw shows, and I'm sure that it, enlightened others. Freddie Jones, who was the trumpeter for the Dallas Cowboys and played the national anthem at every Cowboy game until last year. He's African American. He had the opportunity to meet Freddie Hubbard back when he was in college. And it was because of the community of artists and entertainers who had been successful and maybe not recognized. And they were giving back, and they had clinics for the young people. And so it's important that I give back, that others give back, that we purchase Black art and realize the importance that it has in our history, as Ms. Fields was saying, because when you look back at pictures and you look back at posters and you look back at various art, you do know, as young as Bailey is, what has transpired in our country and in our history. We see full circle the change in hairstyles. And what we do know from our history is when I was in college, that you wore an afro because of the movement. And it was not so much because of you wanting to have your natural hair, it made a statement. And it informed people that you were Black, you were proud, and you were proud of your heritage. So I think that the more we participate in educating our children, exposing them to the various art forms, whether it is audible art, performing arts, the medium of painting, whatever that area is that allows an individual to express themselves, that they will then also give back to their community.
One of the first things you said was your community made you.
And that's why you give back. And I think that's a very good way of living and thinking. We didn't just happen to get where we are. We had to get there somehow. There's a lot of people, a lot of things in place that got us, and we should just automatically give it back to those. Right. Miss Bailey. Did I skip you? No, I did. Your next question. Oh, yeah. How do you see art contributing to generational continuity? And why is it important for preserving history and experience of the African American community?
As Black women, we hear a lot more no's than we do yeses. The door will be slammed in your face more times than you can count, and you will eventually have to find a window to come in through, or even a crack to come in through. And I sit here today with these lovely women who have helped pave the way for me as a Black artist. And I realized that in the past 2 decades, I feel that racism and ableism are at an all-time high. And it's important for me to stand up for the people who are going to come up after me, and they're going to struggle after me. But I know that if I speak up for what is right and I don't listen to the voices that tell me that I'm too young or I'm too this or I'm too that, and I know who I am and I know whose I am, and I stand 10 toes down on where I come from and the people that have come before me, and I know that I can fight for that, then I know that the generation after me will be able to fight just like how I'm fighting now. And it's very imperative that we see the bridge between history and between the arts and between social things, because our art is a direct view into what's happening socially. A lot of things are happening that are going downwards in this country, and it just continues to happen. And if we don't stand up to say something, no one will. You have to be the first person to say something. You have to be the first person in the room to say, I'm going to stop this, because otherwise it'll just continue to happen. You can't just sit there and let things happen to you. You have to fight for them. And if I want the future to be brighter, and I want my art to be somewhere where it's seen and be somewhere where it means something, then I have to make people listen, and I have to make people know that it means something.
You're so good to be so young, Miss Bailey. And such an inspiration. I definitely like to stand on all 10 toes. And what you're doing now is for the next generation, so that they'll be able to do the same kind of work. And that's how you impact generation to generation. So thank you very much. Well, next it should be Sharon, but Sharon, I'm going to hold you until after Stephania, because you're next on our part. So Stephania, I'm going to go to you to your next question. What holistic advice do you have that is simple and effective for women over 50, over 60?
B12.
Explain.
So you have. Mike, thank you. B12 is such a blessing. See that B start with the blessings. We also know that B's are the building blocks, right? So as we age gracefully and we fight 10 toes down those aches and pains and those deep rooted night sweats and hot flashes and hair. So what helps with that is B12. I suggest getting the shot versus doing the sublingual. I mean, they both work. The other thing about with B12, I'm prone to have high energy anyway. I'm gonna be outside all day because I love my vitamin D. That's a hint. But the other thing about that is you got to make sure that if you're doing your the pills or the liquid, you need to take those early in the morning. After 1 o'clock, you with a toothbrush at the bathroom baseboard, getting every nook and cranny and dirt. Then you're gonna go to the neighbor house and clean. Because you're gonna get that energy. And then when it's time to go to bed, we're already fighting going to sleep anyway because of cortisol levels and our hormones, because they didn't tell us about those hysterectomies and partial hysterectomies and all that. So B12, I would suggest get a shot. It's great. You can go to any lab. They're very inexpensive. The thing about it is you need to look for clarity when you take B12. You're gonna look for energy, of course, and you're gonna look for a restful night of sleep. So that's one of my things that I suggest. Now, besides that, put my disclaimer in there, y'all, this is not to treat, diagnose, or cure, but informational purposes only. And if you are under a physician care, please go talk to your doctor. But they gonna like that B12 too. So that's my thought on that.
Thank you. Vitamins are very important. With my middle child, I had to take B12 shots for some reason. I don't remember now what it was, but I wasn't able to give them to myself. So my 3-year-old son gave them to me. But that's another story.
Okay. And I want to. Also, just it's not a warning, but for those that had a lot of kids and they may be suffering from some type of incontinence, B12 would tighten up that bladder. I want to say that. You'd be surprised. There, okay, now talk.
That's really good to know. All right. Thank you, Sophia. Sharon, your next question. How do you think we can move one step closer to creating a sustainable future in the arts?
Thank you for that question. I think the answer is simple: invest in youth. One of the things that people have done throughout history is tend to function knowingly and unknowingly in the old school way of children are to be seen and not heard. It's like, sit over there, be quiet, don't say anything, mind your manners, all of that, kind of putting these kids in this box that when they get older and they are the ones who are bearing the responsibility and the weight of caring not only for their elders, but for our arts community, for our world, for our healthcare system, for everything. They don't know where to begin because they haven't had the opportunity to be placed in a position to be able to learn everything that they can learn. So what happens in almost every industry is that the older people start to, I'm so sorry, I'm sitting in my office in Chicago and my heater is automated. And so she's over there talking to me. I must have said a vowel sound that sounds like her name. She's talking to me right now. My apologies. It's cold in Chicago, y'all. But it's very important that from a very young age we start instilling in young people the importance of their voice, the importance of their presence, and the importance of taking up space in a positive way, the importance of them being present and learning everything they can learn, and us creating that creative space for them and letting them know not only is it okay, but giving them room in a non-judgmental space to make mistakes and letting them know it is okay. It is important for us as older adults to remind them that all of the mistakes that they made, we also made them, because one of the things that it also happens, whether it's creatively or personally, professionally, in any way, from religion to everything else, they see this more polished, external facing being, and they think, well, shoot, I can't be honest, or I can't be true, or I can't be who I am because my mama is perfect, or my teacher is perfect, or my mentor is perfect. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna tell you the truth about what I did when I was your age, but I got better, or I did better, or I grew, or I learned. And so I think it's important that we just continue to invest in our young people, with our finances, with our time, with our resources, with our patience, with our space, and allow them the opportunity to be beside us and learn from us. And that is truly the only way that the arts and our livelihood as people will be truly sustainable, is through these young people.
Well said. I can't add anything to it, but I will. Um, you said that at a very young age, and I do agree, at a very young age, we need to tell our children from the time they're in the womb, we need to tell them who they are, that they can do anything that they put their mind to, and we shouldn't limit them because of zip code, resources, or anything else. We should let them be who they are, and that also see our mistakes. My children truly know my mistakes. Both of them, they know both of my mistakes that I have made in my life. So, so it is important for children to see that so that they can get the whole picture and they cannot be afraid of making mistakes as they go through this life that we have in this world. Okay. Thank you so much. And speaking of you, Sharon, you're up next for a vocal performance. And so we're going to listen to you now as you serenade us with this wonderful song and voice of yours.
And I'm sorry, Sharon, to interrupt you. Miss Hyde? Miss anybody named Miss Hyde?
Karen, she went to the.
Oh, that was Karen. Okay. Never mind. I could have not done that. Okay.
Thank you, Deborah.
That's okay. And I'm gonna also just really quickly, 2 quick shameless plugs while I have the floor as I go into my song. And hopefully through the Zoom, the audio will transfer and it'll sound like the real audio and not sound computerized. But my 2 shameless plugs are I want to absolutely thank one of my dearest friends and mentors, Deborah Tate Lewis, on behalf of the Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society for putting this together. So we could also give a round of applause for Deborah Tate Lewis. And not forgetting Glenda and the Pearls for also partnering on this event. But also every time I open my mouth, I have to shout out to my dentist because I hate going to the dentist. I hate needles. I hate it. And my mama don't even let me say hate. I'm 51 years old, and when I say it, I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to say hate. But I do not enjoy going to the dentist. But Dr. Holliday makes it so personable and so comfortable and so amazing that I actually look forward to my dentist appointment, so much so that she's one of the only doctors that I still fly to Texas to make sure I see. I will not get a Chicago dentist, even though I lived here for almost 2 years now. So I also got a shout out to Dr. Holliday. Okay, so segueing from that last question about the importance of placing value on the young people. This song is one of my favorite songs. It's a Billie Holiday song. And it's one that hopefully, like I said, you all can hear it really well. Them that's God shall gain, them that's not shall lose. For the Bible says, and each still is news. Mama may have and Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. That's got his own. Ooh, yes, the strong get some more, while the weak ones fade. Empty pockets don't never make the grade. No, your mama may have it, your papa he might have, but God bless a child that's got his own. That's got his own. Ooh, money you got, I've got to stand up lots of friends. They will be crawling around your front door. But when your money's gone, the spending is, they don't come around no more. No. Rich relations here. They'll give you crust of bread, such. You might cover yourself, but oh, sugar baby, don't you take too much. Your mama may have bad. Oh, your papa, he might have, but God bless the child that's got his own. God bless the child that's got his own. God bless the child.
All right.
Thanks God.
Yes.
Beautiful, Sharon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your talent is true. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, y'all, we're up to audience question and answers. So take a deep breath. Think about what you've heard and seen. And if you have questions, let's see, how are we gonna do this?
Well, you can raise your hands. We're gonna take about maybe 5 minutes. I know that we said 2 to 4. I like to be timely. We are running a little bit behind, but listen, what all did you gain from this? It's a lot. We have a great panel. They've given us a lot of information. So we're gonna take about 5 minutes for question and answer. All you have to do is raise your hand. And I'd like you to stick around just for a minute for presentations. And also, before you leave, then grab a sandwich or something to take with you. We have a little saran, what is it, a little plastic bag that you can put it in. So, one per person. So, 5 minutes.
Okay, questions? Yes, yes. If you stand up, please. Uh-huh.
Okay, mine is not a question so much as to say, thank you for you guys putting this together, right? Everybody on this panel is so inspirational. And I'm thanking you specifically for my son. And I want to have a shameless plug about him. Many of you may know Major Attaway. Anybody know that? So that's why I'm here today, because I believe in the arts, because I lived it with him. And Doc Holliday, I didn't know all your story. Oh my God, so much in common, right? So Karen Gittens, who's known him since he was 10 years old and has been supporting him this entire time. And one of the people who said he can make it on Broadway. Sharon Keaton, I have to tell you, everything she says is true. Had it not been for her when she went to Rudy Eastman at Jubilee Theater and convinced him at 16 years old that he should be in a play. And I remember Joe Rogers was the musical director, said, I don't work with kids. Sharon said, you don't know this kid. He ended up his first show, I think Sharon was Holiday Blues, maybe, where he was singing about a whole lot of stuff that a 16-year-old should know about, right? So I was a little concerned about that. But I just wanted to share with you that he turned 37 years old yesterday. Yeah, he's that old, I know. And he started in the career when he was 10, doing Casa Manana, Kids Who Care, then Jubilee and Bass Hall. And I don't know. Broadway, let's go to that, right? So he left here. It's been the 10-year anniversary, 2026, that he's been in Broadway as the genie in Aladdin, the voice of the plant in Little Shop of Horrors. And right now, he is on tour for the show Spamalot. He is the lead. If y'all didn't know about that, I didn't know anything about British comedy, so he had to tell me about it. Well, I've gone to see it. It's crazy good. And he is the lead. He's King Arthur. He will be at Bass Hall April 28th to May 3rd. All right. So thank you to all of you for what you do, right? That's all I want to say. If everything Sharon just said is so important, I run around looking at people who look like me, especially Black and brown people, and saying, hey, if your child is a ham at home, they might need to be on stage. Please introduce them to the arts because they just don't know what they don't know, right? So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Mom. Keep it up. Anybody else? Real quick. I'm sorry, Judy. Okay, and thank you. Sharon is actually at work and she's got to go downstairs to her event. So real quick, let me do this real quick and then we can go back to it. For those that want to stay and ask questions, we'll go back to that after we get through doing this. Okay, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So Sharon, thank you for all that you have done for the arts. I mean, Sharon, whether it's a playwriter, a producer, composer, or whatever, she, like she said, she's the entertainment director for the Tarrant County Harambe Festival. I put that above all the Fort Worth Opera and the Lyric Opera, the international stuff she does all overseas. She is our director of entertainment. So we really appreciate her for all that. Sharon, I have a certificate for you that I'm going to give to your mother. And she'll have it at your Fort Worth home. You know, Sharon lives in Chicago Worth. It's like she's in Chicago one day and she's in Fort Worth the next day. So she named a new city that she lives in. So I'll present it to her. And it says Certificate of Appreciation 2026 Women's History Program. Her story on display, and y'all's story has been on display today. Women Shaping a Sustainable Future in the Art, presented to Sharon Goodspeed Keaton in recognition of your outstanding contribution and dedication to the art. Presented by the Tarrant County Black Historic and Genealogical Society and the Society Inc. Tarrant County Pearls. And it's signed by the Pearls president and the interim director. And I say that interim, I want y'all to hear that we are in need of an executive director for the Tarrant County Black Historic and Genealogical Society. Go on our website or tell anybody that qualifies for the rectorship and can write grants. Go on our website and send us your resume. We'll hire you. No, we're interviewing. Okay, so Sharon, I'll give this to your mother. While I'm up here, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other presentation so that we can y'all can answer questions and then we can get out. I like to be respectful for people's time. I like to call Donna and Danya. I know that they're up there maybe checking out people or whatever. Donna, I see Danya. Danya, are you back here? Okay.
I don't have that.
Oh, Donna.
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. I think I've got a customer.
Okay. Okay. We'll get back to it. Okay. So, thank you, Judy. Oh, Judy, I'm sorry. She already got on me about that. Thank you so much for stepping in and being the moderator. I didn't know she had all that into her.
My pleasure.
Okay. Her sister and I are really good friends, but I'm basically met her and worked with her through the Juneteenth Museum. And y'all know y'all pray on that Juneteenth Museum that we get to open it up before open leave passes. So thank you so much. And then I have one for each of the panelists, Symphonia. And I actually was gonna put all these in bags and just give it to you, but I thought, well, we need to take a picture. So thank you so much, Symphonia. I won't read these. And Symphonia, I have to put in a plug. Symphonia is the chair or president of the vendors for the Tarrant County Harambe Festival. So I have to appreciate her for that, but she is very much of the arts. She has how many books at Amazon?
27.
27 books on Amazon. Go on Amazon, purchase some of her books. She's awesome. We'll bless her that way. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Wow. Miss Bailey. Miss Bailey. Miss Juneteenth USA. somebody said, no, she won Fort Worth. I said, yeah, she did.
And Texas.
And the state and the United States of America. Thank you so much for all you are so poor and what is she wonderful and she a great representation for us. I'm proud to have you go all over and represent Fort Worth, Texas. Okay? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your work. Okay, and I'm just picking these up in order that they're laid down here. Okay, Miss Carrie Shields. Thank you, Miss Carrie. I had no idea of all of these wonderful things that Karen had did for the arts. I knew that she was over the committee for a jury art show, but I did not know how far back and all the things that she has done. But you know, you have to honor people that helps you and do things for you. So she has been great job for our organization, and she's been great for the art industry. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna do Dr. Holiday first. Dr. Marie Holiday. Thank you so much, Dr. Holiday, for all that you have done, not just for the arts, but things you've done for the community, and for your clients, and just being such a wonderful person. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dr. Holiday is on our what is it? The advisory board for the Tarrant County Black Historic and Genealogical Society. But she also, like she said, collects art and she gives to the art world, and also just being the entrepreneur that you are in your dentistry and your flowers and all this. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and last but certainly, well, let me go ahead and get Linda and I'm gonna get y'all. There. Linda Thompson. Linda and I go way back. We graduated from Dunbar High School. And I'm gonna tell her age, okay? I'm gonna tell her age. We graduated from Dunbar High School in 1972 together. And we've been going ever since. We're having our 55th anniversary next year. And so I really love Linda and love her for what she does, not just what she started doing for the arts, but what she's done for the community. And also for her support of the Tarrant County Harambe Festival. And I appreciate it for everything. Linda, thank you so much. Y'all send me some of these pictures. I don't know. Okay, but last but not least, Donna and Danya. It's the owner. It's the owner of this establishment. And not only, they got the resale shop for the books and things, but they build an environment that people can come and enjoy. And especially most of it is of the arts. I've been to several events right here. And we so appreciate y'all for opening up and letting us have this event here and for opening up for so many others. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for all that you do. I'm got this strand, so I won't give it away. This is presented to the Doc Bookshop. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, you got to do it. Okay, so we're gonna get ready to get out of here. If y'all have questions, but Jan has something that she wants to say about the online store. So real quick.
The Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society now has an online store. You can scan this barcode. We're on Printify now, and you can get the link on our Facebook page. Some of the things that we are selling are a T-shirt with images of local Black Fort Worthians that are significant to our history. Ms. Peace is in there, Ms. Rowland, Mr. Littlejohn, people like that are in this collage. These are one-of-a-kind items. You're not gonna find them anywhere else. This is a table runner with foods like chitlins and hog balls and so. It's a table runner. It's fantastic for your holidays. We've got mouse pads, lots of stuff on that website. And you don't wanna be caught on Juneteenth without your Juneteenth, hopefully memorial, T-shirt here. So one of a kind, specially designed items. Please go to our website and, I'll hold up the link again. Or the QR code, and you can, take a picture of it or whatever. We got lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Okay, so we're gonna get ready to get out of here. I think, do anybody have a question? Okay, so we're gonna, for real, okay. For real. Okay, for real, 5 minutes, y'all. That means that one person can't take up 5 minutes, okay? So let's do 5 minutes. We'll have one person each, and if we don't get 5 people, that's good. But 1 minute apiece, starting with.
I don't have 5 minutes. I got 1 minute. Everybody here is into the arts. I want you all to go take somebody with you right now at Amy Carter Museum. There is a fantastic exhibit of Black art. And it features our photographer, Mr. Littlejohn, but there is much, 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 much more. He's dedicated the whole joint to Black art. Right. And if we don't go out there, it's gonna look really bad because everybody else is going out there. But there are a lot of events called them. There's some days that are just free, and they're still doing events, and they have marvelous events for this. You all probably know Madison Hogan, but Madison and I do a lot of the voiceovers on the exhibit. So go out there and see that exhibit. It's Black, it's us, it's community. Be sure and get there. It's going until the 15th of July.
Okay, and thank you for making that announcement. We are the Terry County Black Historical and Geological Society has partnered with Amy Carter for that exhibit. And on your program, it does say here on the program. So this is it, Black photojournalism going through July at Amy Carter's. Please visit it. All right, and any other questions? With the, yes, ma'am.
Oh, actually, I have
Because we're live. We're live, right? We're still live. Yeah. Are we? Okay. I have to do corrective information here because we are live. Donna sits on the National Association of Black Bookstore Board. I sit on the American Bookseller Association. I say this to say that they are really encouraging independent bookstores. So Stephonia, we're gonna make sure we have her product in store. So we don't have to. And we had her product in store, but we ran out. That's how good she promotes. So we're gonna make sure so we don't have to say that we're just getting her book from one location, because we can't say that when you're in an independent bookstore. So we have to make sure that we're doing the national thing, which is uplifting independent bookstores, because they have independent bookstore coming up on April 25th. And that's to promote independent bookstores in the National Association of Black Booksellers under the leadership of Kevin Johnson, who was an NBA player. His mother was a bookstore owner who owned underground bookstores in California. At her transition, he wanted to pay homage to Black-owned bookstores because it is tough operating in space, especially when you're in brick and mortar. So he has done a number of things, including helping us to bring artists like Jane Kennedy, Teddy Riley, and continuing to push the Doc Bookshop. He even flew here. I don't know if anybody was here for Teddy Riley, but he actually came down to participate in that one. And then, so I just want to make sure that next we have your books in stock so we can make those comments. There you go. Thank you. That's all I had to say. Thank you.
Well, with that, everybody, thank you so much. You were a wonderful audience. We appreciate, we love you very much. And let's give a warm thank you to Dr. Holiday, Ms. Bates, and Ms. Karen, and the expert man, Karen. Thank you very much. Y'all get some treats and have a good afternoon.
And shop at your store. See what you see. I got my eye on something. Okay. Okay. Okay, group photo, group photo. Y'all want to get a group photo? Yeah, anybody get in a group photo? Anybody want to get in a group photo? Let me, okay, before you leave, you're gonna take a group photo.
Where's the board of names and
So,
say I thank you.
so those who are interested in being in the photo, you can make your way to the stage. And I'm gonna ask our panelists, I'm gonna ask y'all to just sit and we're gonna go around you all, if that's possible. And kind of just let them get in behind you. Okay. So I have to call names. Come on, Miss Anita. And where's Miss Moss?
Jacoby.
Did she leave already?
I think she had to leave.
Oh, she left already? Did Bobby leave too?
Bobby left, yeah.
She had to go too? Patrice, come on for the group photo. Come on, please. Let's get the photo because they're ready to go as well. I want to get people behind them. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you. Thank you. Jacoby.
Okay. All right. Anyone else want to be in our group photo? Yeah, if you can stand on that side, right behind Stephonia. Come on, Miss Sandy. Right behind Stephonia. All right. Miss Nita, I want you in the photo.
Yes, ma'am.